Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And a special shout out to yet another new Patreon by the name of Pete. Pete, thank you so much for your support and much appreciated. So Christmas has passed, and now the new year is ahead of us. And I thought this particular offering by Glenmorangie, A Tale of the Forest, would be a nice way to start the winter, even though this is not Tale of Winter. I have not tried any of the other series. I have them in a collection, Tale of Cake and Tale of Winter. But this one really intrigued me, Tale of the Forest. And so we are going to review this and talk about it. It's Glenmorangie, and it is matured in ex-bourbon, mostly ex-bourbon refill. Okay. It's a non-age stated, and it is 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, but no mention of color. So maybe they add a little bit of color. And what Bill Lunston did with this is he tried to recreate the ancient method of kilning barley with botanicals. In this case, juniper berries, birch bark, and heather blossoms. Nowhere on this packaging or on Glenmorangie's site could I find a reference to also peat, but on Master of Malt's review, they do say that in addition to the kilned botanicals that were used, they say that there was a little peat used as well, which kind of makes sense to me. Maybe the peat would be the fuel and the heat source to help dry maybe some of these wetter, more moister botanicals. I, for the life of me, cannot pick out the juniper berries. So if you're thinking you're going to get, this is a gin experience, no. So you're not getting those juniper berries. I cannot really pick them out. But there is a lot going on here. This is a very interesting offering, in my opinion. It retails for about $95 to $100. Obviously you're paying for it's a limited edition. You're paying for the artwork, the graphics, the packaging, right? And all that. So it's probably overpriced. But let's get into the review here. One thing I will say is I've spent a lot of time with this over the last few weeks, okay, just kind of nipping away at it. And I do find it to be a very interesting offering. And my tasting notes do align with what they wrote on the packaging. Their packaging tasting notes are a little flowery, no pun intended. So I'm not going to read their prose here, but I did find that they were pretty spot on. All right. On the nose, it's an inviting nose. You sense that it's sweet, slightly sweet, okay, on the nose. It's an inviting nose, maybe a hint of peat, and you're getting those traditional bourbon notes, vanilla, butterscotch, also cocoa. And also, too, you're getting, it took me a long time to kind of nail it down, but you are getting that nutmeg and clove. And I want to be very specific when I mention nutmeg and clove, because it's one of my pet peeves that a lot of reviewers use with cinnamon, nutmeg, but nutmeg is an evergreen nut. Okay, so when I say nutmeg, you are getting that evergreen, that piney, almost, if you've ever used that cleaner, Pine Sol, okay, you're getting that condensed pine, nutmeggy, with a little bit of clove, okay, but it accents, does not dominate, okay, it's very well integrated. I can never say Worcestershire sauce. All right, on the palate. It's a bit delicate. You're getting orange creamsicle and um, chocolate brownie mix. And if you watch Multicasking's review of this, she really says that chocolate brownie mix, and it's there in spades, okay? And also on the palate, you're picking up that eucalyptus, menthol, spearmint, slightly sweet, but on the dry side. And it also has a bit of that tongue numbing, I don't want to say medicinal, but tongue numbing in that if you've ever had sloe gin, my cousin made me some homemade sloe gin, which is made, it's fermented beach plums, okay, which is a different variety of it's like a wild plum, but it grows near the beach, and it looks a little bit like a prune, and it's fermented, and so I kind of get that when I say tongue numbing. I don't want to say Jägermeister or cough syrup, but if you could relate more to that, it does have that little. If you take Jägermeister, forget about all the flavors, and if you have cough syrup, forget about those flavors. But that numbing, that medicinal numbing on your tongue is there predominantly on the palate. And again, on the palate, the botanicals, I'm not picking up any of the juniper berries, but they accent, they do not dominate, okay? The only problem I have with this is the finish is very short. This is 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, but the finish to me is more like a 43% chill filtered experience. But the finish, you are left with a slight numbing sensation on the tongue, which I probably attribute to the botanicals as well as oak, okay? And it's a bit on the dry side as well. So I am glad I bought it. I find it to be very interesting, and I would recommend it. As far as the price goes, it is overpriced. My score for this is going to be an 85. It would be a point, possibly 2 points higher, if the finish was longer and a little bit more robust. But I find the finish to be a bit disappointing, and I don't know why. But the nose and the palate, it's very nice. So I think that just about sums it up. Yeah. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon. Thanks, Pete, very much for supporting this channel financially. And I welcome many more Patreons that believe in what I do here. And so Happy New Year to all. And this is going to be the end of 2022 for Just Whiskey. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. So hats off to you all, and take care.